Short time ago, I purchased some items and I had them sent to me. The person who sent them paid to have them sent with security. The company that had the security on the shipment sent me a notice on Friday, July 17th, that they had hired a new executive whose last name is Stamps. The thing is, July 17th is an anniversary on a major benchmark date in American history regarding the issuance of stamps for financing. This isn't a recent benchmark, mind you, but we're talking about a private security company. Now, it actually occurred a couple of days before, but they made the announcement on Friday. It came after I did some emails to myself with what would have been my legal filing had I filed on Friday. See, there was a deadline that had gone the day before, but I intentionally did not file because I already knew that somebody had taken my cases and my efforts and it hooked up derivatives connected to their efforts. And the problem is that despite however I've attempted to engage collegially or to let them know this is what I caught you hooking up on my filing, they've persisted. And so when what's supposed to be the legitimate deadline for filing comes, it's ironic because I already know that there are benchmarks set up, that there is a hedging strategy applied to whether or not you will file an appeal or this kind of appeal. And I had already made public that I understood there was a potential 6-month appeal that I could move forward on. But because of what was going on, I knew that other people were using whatever the derivatives were they connected to my cases in manners that were very sabotatory. And so I did not actually do the work of getting together and filing a formal appeal on July 16th, which would have been 6 months from my efforts to file on January 16th. And I'm glad because, as I have posted this past weekend, that on the 15th and the 16th and the 17th of last week, the Texas Supreme Court was doing something that was unacceptable as far as I'm concerned, and that is actionable and needs to be shut down. Matter of fact, it's so reprehensible what they did that I believe they deserve to be disbarred and arrested. But the point of the matter is, I did not file through a formal process. What I did do is I sent myself emails that would have been my sua sponte, I suppose, my extemporaneous response, were I to have been called at that moment to present, or if I had been given an opportunity to present my case. Now, the concern I had was that a majority of the cases that were being used in connection with these other derivatives were cases concerning acts of child sex abuse, mostly old cases that were being appealed. And I've already tracked at least 2 major rounds of me trying to go through the litigious process and seeing a particular strategic pattern of using cases on actual allegations of child sexual abuse in conjunction with other kinds of cases. That's actually part of a particular kind of pattern at an escalated level. And so when I was experiencing the kind of things I was, and I already was getting indications of specific kinds of economic events that were being hedged in connection with other deadlines, I was anticipating finding something akin to what I found. And the actual functionality of it, it goes with whoever has the actual capacity to coordinate those things. Um, but I was able to identify it pretty accurately. And it's one of the reasons why I was already intuitively and also consciously um, unwilling to file, even though I knew it was an important deadline. And I'm glad that I did not try to file. I'm glad that I did not get sucked in again to having streaming child pornography bundled onto my efforts. They'd done this in January, and I have been able to track how they did that, right? They literally took my case filing efforts from January. I knew at the time I filed that one of the cases was bundled onto a chemical or a chemical weapons charge of some sort, and I was able to track it, right? In all of its horror and profundity. But nonetheless, I am bringing this up, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's that precise. Whoever it is on these higher levels that have limited the electronic communications I'm allowed to get, which by the way never respond to me directly. I very, very rarely get somebody that responds when I send them an email alerting them to a problem, right? I haven't for years. But somebody watches my emails enough to delete my emails and to alter my emails and alter my desktops. And I already see that they have these things going on in the court. And for some reason, the district court has decided to misrepresent the amount of money I owe in filing fees, and or fees to print my own legal filings. So I have a bill now for filing fees as well. And so I know part of what I'm supposed to do is figure out how am I going to pay a bill when I'm not allowed to make any money, even though the court has already said that I'm a pauper. So I don't have to pay for any legal fees, right? So, I mean, that's kind of the situation here. I had originally intended to, give a sort of information, I guess, about what my actual charges were because there's all this very important information. But at the same time, right, we have to make sure we identify what the potential conflicts of interest are. And I've already done the best I can